How's everybody doing? How am I up? Because I was editing this video until like, I want to say 11-ish, and then I got tired.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
Even Star TV with the 2, ROG Ally X, $1,000 confirmed. DOA once again, Team X. Yeah, dude, I don't know who the fuck's behind that shit. Other than like the hardcore Xbots. I mean, they'll sell some, but shit ain't moving units, that's for sure. Yeah, I think I finally finished this thing. I have to add the background music, that's it, but 46 minutes. Shit. Too long. Thoughts? There you go.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.
Oh, let me do this real quick. Let's see. Just put the Black Ops Mini. Oops, I don't want to play.
All right, awesome. Thanks, nigga. All right.
Probably need all of it. Let's see. So good vibes with the tier 1 membership. Appreciate it, man. Big ups. And then Oski Woski with the 5. Appreciate it, man. I woke up not too long ago, so this is nice either way. How have you been? Pretty good, man. Cannot complain. Unfortunately, I've been editing this video, which takes a while, but other than that, we're good. When can I expect to send more money on the video? Should be up this afternoon, I'm guessing, unless there's some issue.
That's right! That's right!
It's pretty much done. I just have to add this background music and then export it, which takes like 5 minutes. So, it's more so if YouTube has an issue with the checks. For like the copyright and monetization. I haven't finished the thumbnail. I think this is good. I was trying to do something more complicated, but I think just the simple one is good. So I just took the PNG of the logo and just like split it up into 3 different ones, reorganized it, recolored it, and then added on to the F. Feminism. Yeah. So I tried to match the font and make it look spooky, but yeah. That's really all I did is I just took a picture of her like going with the bunny ears, most importantly. But yeah, I think it looks pretty clickable. I tried some other photos, but I think that one's like the best. Like this one, like trying to fit it didn't really work. Like, see? I don't know. I kind of like this one just better. It kind of fits the mood of just how ridiculous it is. That one works. I'm gonna have this one too, which this one I have to. First one's better. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it just looks better. I mean, that one's pretty decent, which is why I screenshotted it. But, I don't know. There's just, like, something retarded looking about her. Like, she looks like a fucking Advil autist that's been cut off from the supply. Dude, maybe I should put a Tylenol bottle in the corner. That would actually be funny. Yeah, I think this one's just a little over the top, but I don't know. Here, let me just see if I can find one. Tylenol PNG.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
Does no one have a Tylenol bottle PNG image? Wow. Alright, well I have an Adobe stock membership, so I should be able to get this. Hold on one second, let me just put it here. Sign in real quick. I pay God knows how much for Adobe every month. I might as well get it for free. PNG download. Oh, they make you pay for it still, even if you pay for it? Well, that's fucking... Alright, well, never mind. They want you to pay for it, even though you already have an Adobe membership. Yeah, fuck that. Let's see, Tylenol extra strength. You would think that the Tylenol website would just have this shit available, but I guess not. Yeah, well, you know, the Tylenol causes her to go on a murder rampage, so, yep. Dude, I can't believe there's not a single image of Tylenol on the internet that's, like, not fucking blurry as shit. It's crazy. Here, let's see. I'm just going on the website. Alright, that's the one I want. What is the dimensions? Alright, that might be alright. It's black screen still? Give me a second. I gotta remake the desktop one. There we go. Yeah, it just didn't swap back. I don't know. It's OBS. Alright, well this looks like it should be fine. Save image as Tylenol. Oh, I actually do it with the black. No, I think I can do it over here. Yeah, I can. We'll see how this looks. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in there or not. We'll see. Oh, it's already transparent. Nice. That's a pleasant surprise. Yeah, usually the WebM files I'm having to remove the background from. Unless they already look transparent when you drag them. Alright, I do need to put it on here again. Tylenol, PNG. Oh, I guess it didn't open my general files. Did it show up? Yep, there it is. Alright. Good with that. Let's see. I was trying to... Oh, actually, I think I may have it in here. Oh, wait. No, it's... There we go. That's what we needed. Pictures, Adobe.
All right, awesome. Thanks, nigga. All
I
right.
need to learn how to use Photoshop. I pay out the ass for it, but I never use it because it's so complicated.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
All right. SHF Hill. It's nice having everything organized on this computer for once. Did it not save in there? Maybe it's saved in downloads. Where the hell did it go? Oh, it went into the Adobe folder. Okay. There we go. Swap that. Oops. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. I almost feel like it's too cluttered now. No, it's that she took too many pain pills and then killed a bunch of people. So she was popping too many Tylenols. Yeah, there's multiple endings. But all of them involve her going batshit crazy. So the good ending comes from you not taking any pills, I think. But she still loses her fucking mind. Alright, I think that's good. I don't think that's too busy. The only thing I might do is maybe just tone down the coloring a bit. Oh wait, never mind. That's the wrong thing. Just make it not as bright. And that way it doesn't drown out everything else. There we go. I think that's good. Now she looks even more retarded. That's what I'm saying. It's great. I like this image. I think it's perfect. It sums up the game. Alright, let me save this. I think that's good. I don't... The thing is with thumbnails nowadays is less is more a lot of times, so I don't want to overdo it. Alright. What's a good volume on this one? I think probably -26. Well, this should be an interesting one, guys. Let me find a conflict or whatever it might be. Something that's actually haunting. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Maybe... I don't think that's too loud. What we'll be doing is picking up... Let me mute this music. What we'll be doing is picking up 3 pipes at a time, and instead of just carrying one pipe that does... Okay, I think maybe it's a little too quiet. Doesn't break. You have to manually swap to another pipe. Alright, that's good. Spoilers? Here, do you want a spoiler? Here's your spoiler. Walking through the den of pills.
Just need to hold out a bit longer.
Yonikawa 2 to HQ. We've got 2 male victims here.
This is Kagrocho 1. It appears the suspect was observed consuming red and white capsules at the scene of the crime.
Or Tylenol.
Kaguracho 1, this is HQ. Did the capsules match the ones discovered at the wedding venue? Over.
HQ, this is Kagrocho 1. Affirmative. Collected capsules the suspect dropped.
So moving over to the real world. Autism moment? Yeah, I think I said something about Tylenol in here. I think this part.
No! You shouldn't take those anymore!
I guess that's what happens when you cut an autistic child off from their Tylenol. Yeah, there we go. But the very... Yeah, there we go. I thought I had said something. Honestly, I don't remember half of the shit in here, which is bad, but that's what happened. I was awake for, like, probably... Shit. 30-something hours, so... A lot of this is kind of a blur. Alright, let's put that there. And then I added this as like an edit. It's like a lay cringe moment, but I thought it was pretty good. Music bed. It's just how retarded this shit looks, man. It's like some fucking Elden Ring, hack and slash, whatever boss. I agree it fits. But yeah, that's the whole point, is like it just is so off tone. So, but yeah. Yeah, dude, it's like, it's literally Elden Ring in some of these boss fights. I mean, it's basically copy-paste Souls combat, but it's a little slower. That's it. That's like literally it. Which maybe, depending on your build, it wouldn't be a little slower. Alright, let's see. I can drag that. It's always the part of editing I hate, is doing this type of shit. Where's the horror? The horror is having to finish it, man. That's the real horror. Yeah, if I didn't use the cheat menu, I wouldn't have finished it. That's for damn sure. I would have dropped that shit like a turd in the toilet bowl. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to extend that. Yeah, I was not planning on making this as long as it is, but shit, I took all the clips, might as well use them. No, they didn't have the cheats on Wii Mod, so I had to download like some mod or something. It was like a cheat menu mod off, I think Nexus Mods, they had it. Alright, I think that's done. I don't really think there's anything else for me to put. Maybe when I first reference Tylenol or painkills, I'll put the Tylenol PNG in there. Just for the actual autist that can't understand the joke. Alright. Let's just save that for now. That should be enough. I should be able to render this in like 5 minutes.
Alright, awesome. Thanks, nigga. Alright.
This newer version of Premiere, which I never updated my version of Premiere, so I always used the 2018 version on my old computer. Like, it renders videos so much faster. Like, I swapped to the new version right before I switched computers, and videos rendered in, like, a fraction of the time. So, whatever they did to fix it works well, and it works even better on this computer, because obviously I have a more powerful one. Let's see. Where's my stream dashboard? There we go. Alright, so Chaga Shaka Gaming with the 3. How do you function on your sleep? I don't really know if you would call what I do functioning, but I don't know. It just becomes normal after a while, I guess. Your body gets used to it. And then also with the 8, do you think the Metroid series is overrated and niche? I don't really think it's overrated. I just think it's niche. Metroid's always been niche, and it probably always will be. Unless Metroid Prime 4 just does, like, crazy numbers. But it's just always been a niche franchise. Which is kind of surprising, because people hype it up so much. Especially with the Samus gooning. And Z Herbs and Spices with the 2. I'm not racist, but... Exactly. TNWD. There you go. Z Herbs and Spices also with the 5. Did you see Trump go off on the UN? I love it. They turned off his teleprompter thinking it would stop him. Yeah. And the same thing with the escalator, bro. That's the thing. It's like, if I was Secret Service, I would have had, like, guns drawn all over the place immediately if that shit happened. Like, that's the crazy part. It's like, he's supposed to be in, you know, a secure area. And instead, you know, Secret Service just lets him stand there on a broken elevator. It's like, what? I don't know, man. That's not really a good... It's like stopping an elevator or something. The escalator should have been running, and the fact that it stopped, like, they should have been all over the place, guns drawn. Because if that was, like, a plan to get him to stay in one spot so somebody could shoot him, then they just let him die. Oski Woski with a 5. Peak. Now I want to hear the whole thing. Pure nostalgia. Alright. Let's see. Oh. There we go. Looking around for some 5090s. Which version should I get? I was looking at the ROG Astral, but I don't know if it's good. I don't really know too much about the different variations. I have the MSI Vanguard one, which I like that one a lot, but I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know too much about the nuances between the different, like, manufacturers' models. I mean, Asus is a pretty good brand, so... But then again, I've heard their RMA process is pretty bad, so I don't know. I would just see if somebody's made a video on it or not. The Astral's the best one money can buy. Well, there you go. Get that one, then. Biden would have just froze and shit his pants. Yeah, exactly. Or he would have fallen up the stairs trying to walk up. The coil whine? Is there actually any chance you're gonna hear that though? Like, that's the thing. When you're doing some hardcore gaming, bro, do you really think you're gonna hear it over the fans? I don't know. Jesus with the 5 prices are out for the Xbox handheld. Normal 600 and the better one's 1,000. Yeah. And the $600 one is barely better than the Steam Deck, supposedly. So, it's pretty bad, man. Just buy a Steam Deck. I mean, realistically, man, how much are you actually going to use that handheld PC for, like, literal AAA gaming and shit, so... I don't know, man. Like, that's just ridiculous. How much do they sell?
All right, awesome. Thanks, nigga. All right.
$650 for the OLED, which goes on sale all the time whenever Steam does a sale. I don't know. It's just very odd to me. I don't know who it's for. Because, like, the whole thing with console dudes, it's like, oh, it's so cheap. Like, $1,000 ain't cheap. Dude, I don't know who the fuck would ever want to use a Steam Deck for portable VR. Jeez. Yeah, that would not be a pleasant experience, I would assume. I mean, maybe it would run alright, but... I mean, they can get shit like the MetaQuest to run decently. So maybe it's possible, but I wouldn't want to try it out. Oh, yeah, I remember this. The Big Jug anime shooter. Shit. Only use my Steam Deck for 2D games like Final Fantasy and Octopath. Yeah. That's the best use case, I feel. I mean, that's the best use case for handhelds in general, is like playing that type of game. I don't really want to play some shit like Red Dead Redemption on a handheld, personally. Jesus with the 2, do you like Mortal Kombat? Griffy Poo with 3 gorillas. No. I'm not really... I mean, I used to like it. I used to buy it just to dick around on it for like 5 hours, and then I'd never touch it again, but I haven't done that in years. Ever since they took away the goonable character models. There's nothing for me anymore. I'm done playing with you.
I can't afford this shit!
Did all of Dreamcast guys shilling pay off? Nope, he didn't get... Dude, he didn't get a Ghost of Yowie review code? Wow. Sony's Strongest Soldier didn't get an early copy. Wow. Poor guy. Here, let's watch him soy out over the handheld. He's gonna buy
Hey there,
it.
gamers. Dreamcast Guy here, and today we're talking about the Xbox handheld because Microsoft has just announced the pre-orders. They went live right now. It's actually just gone live at 7 p.m. on a frickin' Thursday night. And what's extra weird is that this system
Has a donation for Yote already been made? No. I don't think it will, honestly. That game's boring as shit. That is probably one of the most boring games I've ever played. Ghost of Sushi. But, yeah. No, I'm not getting one of these. I don't even use my Steam Deck. Here it is. There's my Steam Deck. This thing hasn't been turned on since Christmas of last year when I tried to play a game that was Steam Deck verified and the controls didn't fucking work. So, that's the last time I turned this on, was at Christmas time when I went to go see my my parents. So, yeah, I don't have the OLED. I have the launch model Steam Deck, but I have the $650 version one with the special screen, dude. But it just basically lives in its case now. I should use it, but there's a lot of things I should do.
is $1,000. The original leaked price, it looked like it was going around, was that it could be $900. Maybe when they jacked up the price of the Xbox consoles, I guess they decided to do it to this one as well. But I want to talk about this because, to be honest, it seems like even a lot of the most diehard Xbox fans, the people that actually like Team Green, that are excited about how much has been coming to Game Pass, how much cool stuff they like about the Xbox and collecting achievements and stuff, it seems like even Xbox fans are saying, how in the world would I possibly want to buy a thing that is so dang overpriced and doesn't play Xbox games? Let's get into it, because actually I'm a bit annoyed. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like. See if you get this to...
Bruh, the FBI just disclosed to the U.S. Congress that it embedded 275 plainclothes agents into the January 6th crowd. Wow, who would have guessed, man? It was a Fed op. I wonder why FedTez didn't get arrested for telling people to storm the Capitol and disregard the police. Do you think maybe he was agent number 276?
2,000 likes, or at least 1,000 likes.
Yeah, imagine everybody's shock of confirming anyone's, already existing belief who has a brain. Dude, leftists unironically think that January 6th is like some fucking huge deal. It's like the biggest Fed psyop of all time that never, it didn't actually work. That's the thing. If anything, it proves that the Trump supporters weren't willing to stage a coup, dude. They weren't even willing to stage a coup, even if the feds were trying to goad them on to.
Honor this price, right? Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this is actually real. I still cannot believe it. I even had to look at it itself right there. $1,000 for a portable Xbox. Now, everybody in the comment section is like, bro, at some point, they're going to have to bury these in the landfill where they put those ET games. Look at this. You can get an original ROG Ally, which is about $500 and is only about 20% weaker. So literally every single comment. Microsoft is drunk. Nope.
Why would you buy something? Okay, this is where fucking retards are retarded. Hold on a second. This is where retards are retarded. So, let's back this up.
Literally every single comment. Microsoft is drunk. Nope. Weaker. So literally...
You can get the original Ally on sale for $500 frequently. It's only about 20% or so weaker than this. Just get that instead. Ready? So, $600 for the regular Ally versus $500 for the old Ally. What do you guys think the price difference is? Y'all ready? This is going to blow everybody's mind, dude. So crazy. 600 minus 500. There's your price difference. Divided by 600. Gee, I wonder why it's 17% more expensive. So you're saying for 17% more, you get 20% more performance. Wowie zowie, man. Well, technically it'd be 25% performance if you compare it that way, but it doesn't matter. Gee, I wonder why it's slightly cheaper than the new one if it's like almost identically, you know, less powerful than it is cheaper from a percentage basis. But yeah, that's not the W you think it is, bro.
Ally, which is about $500 and is only about 20% weaker. So literally every single comment, Microsoft is drunk. Nope. Everybody is like, brother, what the heck? That's a legitimately terrible price of the base model. The chips are just not good. They're basically...
Oh, I have a feeling he will buy one. Absolutely. He has way too much consumer energy.
Identical to a Steam Deck, which is literally half the price. Now, the way this works is that there is a more powerful version and a less powerful version. Obviously, the same way that the Xbox works. There's an Xbox Series
These don't have an OLED screen, right? They're just LCD.
S and an Xbox Series X. Think of this the same way. There is a less powered version and a more powerful version. Now, Microsoft has been pushing this a lot. The whole Twitter account, Xbox has really been pushing this idea of, hey, this is our little test experiment. This is done by ROG. It's not being produced in like Xbox factories, but this is very much an Xbox branded device. They've really been pushing the idea of play anywhere is the future. Buy stuff in the Xbox store and play it anywhere. But the thing is...
So you mean basically the Nintendo Switch is the future? That's basically all they're saying, is this is exactly what the Switch has been doing for fucking, what, 8 years? This is literally the idea behind the Nintendo Switch, is take your console on the go, basically. So congratulations, Microsoft. You're almost a decade late to that little revelation.
That honestly, this device, for the power, the craftsmanship, I feel like this is becoming the big problem, is that honestly, I think when it comes to portability, the handheld console wars, low price is going to win. I'm still standing on that. I do think that as people get broker, nobody...
Okay, then why is the Series S not flying off the shelf? So, yeah, already logical issue with that one. If that were actually the case, the Series S would be the best-selling console of this generation.
He wants to pay 3 times the price of a Steam Deck, right? They currently put the Steam Deck on sale for $320.
Well, the Ally X is more powerful than the Steam Deck. Significantly more powerful. That's why it's $1,000. The $600 one is about the same power as the Steam Deck.
This is the version that used to cost $500 just a couple years back. Think about that. This thing is 20% more powerful than a Steam Deck for 3 times the price. Last night, I was actually hanging out with some friends. We were having a pizza party and stuff. And while we were eating pizzas, we were talking about the Steam Deck because
we were having a pizza party. And then we watched the Shrek movie. Oh my God, man.
All of us, there was 4 of us there, and all of us were talking about the fact that we all had a Steam Deck, we all had a Steam Deck dock, we all had a dedicated controller for a Steam Deck, and we were talking about the fact that it's awesome. You know, we're not playing big AAA games, but we're playing indies. We're playing Disco Elysium or Balatro or Vampire Survivors with crazy good battery life. I do think that when it comes to the handheld console wars...
No, it's not that he's 5, it's that $5 is his budget for pizza, so he has to get together with 4 friends in order to split the cost of the pizza.
Which I do think is coming
Brutal.
up. Low price is what people are going to be talking about. If your options are a $500 Nintendo Switch 2 or something like a $600 portable PlayStation 6, which is one of the things they're talking about, or a lower end device that still has good games but doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, I do think this is going to be at least an advantage. But no way is anybody in the world going to be buying that ridiculously expensive freaking Xbox handheld. Now, I actually saved this tweet because a lot of people were very mad about this. This is the previous vice president of Xbox. I'm not joking. Mikey Barr was in charge of Blizzard for a while, a bunch of different stuff, right? Well, he randomly just tweeted this out when they jacked up the price of the Xbox. Console price
Yeah,
increases
I
are
would
not a tariff
absolutely
issue. They're a profit
buy the Switch 2 over this whatever the fuck the ROG Ally X. Like, obviously, the Switch 2 not only is probably going to have way better battery life, but you're going to get Nintendo first-party games, so which are basically custom made for the handheld form factor, whether they admit it or not. But yeah, I have a Steam Deck. I've had nothing but problems trying to use it on the games that are allegedly verified. The only game I didn't have problems with was Stardew Valley, which I would fucking hope not. I would hope that game would work on everything. But yeah, I would just get a Switch 2. I mean, that leaves you almost $600 to buy games with. So
issue. And the reason why profits are not what they should be is far, far deeper than an issue of tariffs versus the tariff excuse. So essentially, a lot of people are like, okay, then why are they only jacking up the price of the Xbox in the United States?
Fluffle Nugget with a 2, a pizza parlor called the Dreamy Pizzeria, or Creamy Dreamy's Pizzeria. That one could work too. Creamy Dreamy's Pizzeria. Just be Dying Light, the Beast. The ending is good. Yeah, I need to finish that at some point. Now that Slop Hill F is done.
I am reading this, and maybe I'm reading this wrong, but I feel like this is him saying, look, Xbox is just not profitable. Xbox is the least profitable branch of a very profitable brand. Microsoft has literally their market cap is in the trillions. They make a tremendous amount of money. But most of that is obviously off of Windows. It's off of Microsoft Excel and crap like that, right?
Maybe in the fucking 1980s and 90s. Holy shit. No, it's cloud computing.
So it seems like
Microsoft Office is smaller. I think Microsoft Windows and Office are both smaller than Xbox at this point. No, the money comes from cloud. Excel is even less of a concern for Microsoft than Xbox is.
what their goal is let's see how much we can actually crank up the price of our hardware until we eventually get closer to breaking even. But you know what? I honestly think this is indicative of a bigger, badder sign with Xbox. I do honestly think these high prices are because, in general, Xbox is starting to panic. I do think that Xbox realizes that perhaps their days are numbered. If this handheld, even if it does sell, it's just not really going to make the splash they absolutely need. There have been multiple reports now that Costco, which is one of the biggest distributors, it's one of the biggest stores in the United States beyond like Walmart.
Yeah, Costco is the place that was fire selling the Series S for $120 back like 2 or 3 years ago.
And Target and stuff like that. Xbox is officially no longer going to be at Costco. Multiple sources have confirmed this. We don't have any plans
and Walmart's probably next
going forward to carry the Xbox console. This is the world's third largest retailer behind Walmart and Amazon. And a lot of people are basically like, bro, this is because, honestly, nobody cares about it. It does seem like Xbox doesn't care much about Xbox.
Well, I think they said it's because they keep jacking the price up and they don't want to have to keep raising the price because it's not moving enough units. So when you have a product that doesn't sell, you're supposed to lower the price to sell it. Retailers get pissed off when they're stuck with a bunch of stock that's not selling, and then the company tells them to raise the price. So they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to stock our shelves with that.
And to a lot of people, they're basically saying, look, man, they're just not going to be able to catch up in the way they need. This $1,000 price tag is not going to get them the attention, the positivity, the buzz, the hype, the FOMO of getting people want to join Team Green. I like the fact that Destin Legary has been tweeting a lot today about the Xbox handheld, the ROG Ally X, and even he is like, bro, $1,000 is just too much. Hell no, that can stay at the store. I just find it interesting that really, just in general, I think these companies, and I've said this before, they need to find a way to cut costs to the consumer. Not on the profit end, not on the developer end, not more layoffs. I do think...
Well, the problem is in a traditional console environment, you would be able to cut costs. Because let's say they wanted to lose $100 per unit at retail. you could swing that in the past because you would get software sales, you would get the $60 a year from Xbox Live, you would get third-party game sales on your platform, microtransaction purchases, controller purchases. But the problem is with these open-end systems is there's no path to recouping any potential loss on the hardware because Asus doesn't make money when Microsoft sells a game or gets a Game Pass subscription. So Asus has to make their money up front. And then Microsoft has no guarantee that people aren't just going to use this thing as a Steam Deck and never buy a singular game on the Xbox store. So essentially what happened is neither one of the two people behind this device have any real incentive to subsidize the cost because there's no guarantee they're going to make it up on the back end with like a traditional console model that has a locked ecosystem that guarantees monetization down the line. So if this was a literal Xbox handheld that only played Xbox games and you could only buy stuff from the Xbox store, they probably would subsidize the cost and it would be cheaper. But because it's open-end, they have to make their money on the hardware up front and then hope that they can make money on the back end.
That we're about to hit an absolute wall. These devices are not only not going to sell, I think whatever becomes the lowest common denominator.
No, they'll sell. People will buy it, but not as many as they're hoping.
I do think that more people are going to be gaming garbage games on their phone or playing really crappy old stuff on the Nintendo Switch 1. And I'm not...
What? The really crappy old... Yeah, dude, Mario fucking... all the old Mario games. Your Super Smash Bros, Bayonetta... I don't fucking know. What are some other Nintendo Switch games? Astral Chain. Dude, the old Mario Kart. Like, all that shit's trash. I don't know. Nintendo games age well. What's wrong with playing old retro games, dude? This guy used to have a whole fucking wall full of, you know, his retro boner nostalgia shit. And he got rid of it, so maybe his attitude has changed towards old games.
Not even harping on the Nintendo Switch 1. I just think that a lot of people are not able to join next gen. The amount of people that at this point, if you don't have an Xbox Series X, the price keeps going up. It's now like $700 for an Xbox Series X. It's gotten almost $200 more expensive in the 5 years since launch. And I guess my fear is almost the fact that with devices continuing to get more and more pricey, what happens if the next gen Xbox costs $1,200? What if the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro, what if that costs $700? What if the next PlayStation, the PS6, what if that is $1,200? Not only do I think those games won't sell, those consoles won't sell. They won't spread. They won't get hype. This to me feels like one of the biggest Xbox sales we've seen in a very long time. And it does sort of paint an odd picture. But what do you guys think? Is anybody actually going to buy this? I've made this deal before, but I will say that if somehow this video gets...
Oh, here we go.
Oh God, it's so expensive. I'm going to say if...
He's looking for an excuse to buy it, man. He wants it. He's like, yeah, I need this. I need to consume, dude. I need to flex on my friends that I have the more expensive handheld. Oh, my God. Consumerism is a disease. And Dreamcast guy definitely has that shit. Saber ran with the 2. Well, good morning. Good morning, man.
This video gets 3,000 likes. I'll buy this and I'll review it. So I'm almost saying, please don't give this video 3,000 likes because that's a lot of damn money. But thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you could, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. I'm filming this while I'm in a game night with the boys. I had to literally leave game. They're mad as hell. So, sorry, boys.
Ooh. Sorry, boys.
Please don't give this video 3,000 likes because that's a lot of damn money. But thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you could, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. I'm filming this while I'm in a game night with the boys. I had to literally leave game. They're mad as hell. So, sorry, boys.
Sorry, boys. Oh my god. Why would you say it like that? Oh, yeah, sorry, boys. Don't worry, my hot ass is going to be right back to sit on that couch right in between the both of you. David with the 10. Why does Dreamy think that everyone is as poor as him? I don't know, man. He's a 40-year-old man without a real job making $60 a video on YouTube. So... Did he say 1K likes?
I'll buy. Say that if somehow this video gets, oh god, it's so expensive. I'm gonna say if this video gets 3,000 likes, I'll buy.
Yeah, he's not getting to it. I was like 1K, like
7 inches? That's pretty big.
Dude, 3,000 likes is like the equivalent of 30,000 views. 30,000 views on a video this short is like $40. That is not worth it. Yeah, let me spend $1,000 because I made $40 in ad revenue on my video. Like bot the video. Dude, I don't even care. You already know he's gonna buy it. Like, that's the thing, is if he's already saying he'll buy it for $30 worth of ad revenue, he's gonna buy it. Like, do you really think that extra $30 is what tips him over? He's already deeply contemplating it. Hold on 1 second. I'll take $3,000. But shit. If you give me $3,000, I'll buy it. But that's about it. Honestly, I have zero interest in that thing. I'll never use it. I will never fucking use that thing.
Don't check the sound, guys. I know what sound those cheeks would make when I'm clapping them. Shit.
Oh my god. The Gooner shorts. Yeah, he would be able to buy one if he didn't waste all his money buying the same games 4 times. Many such cases. If they taxed people for being single in America, the government would make a lot of money. They already do. Bro, look at... Here, look. Let's see. Tax bracket single versus married. So yeah, look at this shit. You already do pay higher tax. So look, your first $11,000 for being single is tax-free. Your first $23,000 if you're married is, $23,000. So you pay basically you get $11,000 in tax-free income if you're single, $23,000 if you're married. So essentially you pay double the tax. You're taxed at a much higher rate. Like, look at this. You pay 24% in tax all the way up to 191,000. You pay 21 or 24% tax all the way up to 383,000. So your tax bracket is basically doubled, which means you're paying significantly less income tax if you're married. So there already is a tax on single people. It sucks. Trust me, I know. I'm one of them. Good thing you're married. Yeah. So you get, basically double the income at a lower tax rate compared to a single person. I mean, this is all by design, guys. Why do you think the powers that be want women in the workforce? They want men and women not getting married, not having children, because if you don't have a spouse, if both of you work and you don't have children to list as dependents, then you pay way more income tax. So, it's all by design, bro. Just leeching money off of you constantly. So the nuclear family is literally financially, a negative thing for the government and, by extension, the Federal Reserve. Because if you are married, only one person in the household works, then you pay significantly less income tax than you would if both of you work and you're both single and you don't have any kids. So the government is financially incentivized to not cater towards nuclear families, which is exactly what Lord the Rothschild wants, so that he can keep issuing the fund bucks for the federal government to keep spending and back up the debt by guaranteed tax revenue. Have I obtained a girlfriend yet? Last time I checked, no. Well, dude, you got the ad, not me, so why should I buy it if you got the ad? That doesn't make any sense. If you got the ad, you need to buy it, man. What is this slop?
Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today. Hope you're all doing absolutely excellent. I know I am, because today it's a nice rainy day here, so I'm in my sweater feeling nice and cozy and ready to talk about some Xbox. Because
oh, yeah, dude, nice and cozy.
We have the full spectrum today.
Dude, a grown-ass man saying that he's in his sweater so he can feel nice and cozy is crazy.
It's not all doomer news, because you have the great news in Forza Horizon 6 being real, set in Japan, coming next year. And there's some twist to that story.
I don't think anyone had any doubt in their head that Forza Horizon 6 was real. Did anyone actually think that this game wasn't going to happen?
That I want to dive into, such as it exclusively launching first on Xbox and PC. Despite how Xbox's business strategy has gone, it appears that Forza Horizon is going more down the road of Indiana Jones, which is a bit interesting, as Xbox reluctant to rip that Band-Aid off completely yet, especially with how well Horizon 5 is selling on PlayStation. We're going to talk about that. But then on the other end of the spectrum, the hardware saga continues on. Costco is no longer carrying Xboxes. Let's pour one out for Costco, man. I mean, I love grocery shopping there. Hey, shopping in bulk, that stuff will last you forever. We buy toilet paper from there, dude, and it just lasts forever. And I'm using that a lot. Okay, enough of that. In between everything that you've got here, you also have some very potentially exciting speculative news in the world of licensed video games. We know Activision has a lot of those. So what's going on there with Transformers being relisted once more and then taken down once more? We'll talk about it. Like I said, the full range is here. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you're into what's going on with Xbox, consider subscribing. First thing we gotta talk about, of course, is Forza Horizon 6. So today was the Tokyo Game Show 2025 showcase for Xbox. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know I usually cover this because, number one, I feel like a lot of the audience doesn't really pay attention to it since it's not usually Xbox's biggest showcase, but as someone who loves like JRPGs and Japanese-made games.
The USA and Western world in general should implement a fat tax. I agree. Like, if you fit, you pay 15% less tax, but if you're fat, you can pay... Well, no, I think what we should do... You know, this is my argument for the people who want universal health care. Like, okay... You can have universal health care, but your body mass has to be under a certain percentage fat. Otherwise, you don't qualify. And then you have to pay for it yourself. Because universal health care only works with a healthy and fit population. Otherwise, you're just going to have a bunch of fucking lardos, you know, sucking the system dry. So, yeah, if we want to do that, I think that would honestly be the better thing because, you know, a 10 to 15% tax increase is basically what would equate to universal health care. So, yeah, I think you should only qualify for government assistance of any nature unless you're under a certain, you know, fat percentage. Otherwise, you're on your own. You're obviously not struggling too bad.
I'm always very interested in what Xbox is doing there, especially because they're still trying to really crack in and get a foothold on that region as they have all generation. And they're doing pretty well there, getting a lot of big name developers on board that were originally ignoring their platform. But usually during these showcases, you get some announcements for Xbox studio games like, hey, Bethesda's translating Starfield into Japanese, or in the case this year, Black Ops 7 has a Japan-themed map. So it's stuff like that to, hey, we got a couple of ports that skipped Xbox coming over now. Some of those drop day and date into Game Pass. Some years, like last year, it hits. This year, it was definitely just all about Forza Horizon 6. There was some okay stuff in between, but it was all things you knew about. But Forza Horizon 6 was the big reveal here. Japan has been speculated and designed for a while because of that like late night race in Tokyo Drift vibe. You know, I immediately think of things like Midnight Club or other racing games I played in the early 2000s. I think of Burnout a little bit. Like I just think of all these games and how Forza Horizon could beautifully capture that. And it's so interesting to see two franchises in the last year that are going to Japan, but on completely different paths, right? Like you think about the demand for a Japan set Forza Horizon game and how that was just, it felt so perfect, felt so at home. And we knew one day they would do it, but they're doing it at the peak of the franchise popularity, the peak of the franchise adoration. Meanwhile, you look at something like Assassin's Creed in Japan, and that was the break glass in case of emergency moment. And they did it, and in my opinion, especially in a world after Ghost of Tsushima and now Yote exists, they did it at a time where they got lapped. But Forza Horizon 6 is striking at the right moment.
It's not even that the, you know, Ghost of Tsushima shit is what killed Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's the fact that they tried to make a fucking black samurai. If they hadn't have pulled that shit, it probably would have done very well. If they just had a male main character, samurai, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, the game would have done a lot better. But nope. Instead, they had to make it a woman and a black man. Just as Abraham McSheckelberg would want.
Because this game's going to be massive. And when I say massive, I don't just mean in terms of content and scale, which I have no doubt this will be very, very big. I'm talking about just the player count. In my opinion, this will be, no doubt, the biggest Xbox game this generation. And if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out this generation, I think it's the only game that will beat it. But I think Forza Horizon 6 is going to feast for a very, very long time. One way to support that is just to look at how well it's done on PlayStation 5. As of July 22nd, Alinea Analytics reports that Forza Horizon 5 is the top-selling new PS5 game for the year, selling over 3 million copies on PS5 and overtaking Monster Hunter World, which Monster Hunter World sold over 10 million copies in a single month. That's pretty crazy to think about. So Forza Horizon...
Yeah, but most of those are on PC.
5 is killing it. No doubt 6 will continue that trend unless this game is horrendous or broken, which is really hard to imagine with how much Playground has nailed Forza Horizon for years and years. But here's a little bit of a twist, right? In the trailer description and on the Xbox Wire, they write that Forza Horizon 6 will first launch on Xbox Series X and X consoles and PC in 2026. Now, in a world where Xbox has, you know, not been doing full-fledged exclusivity and at the most timed exclusivity, I found a 2026 game following this strategy to be a little surprising. More so because it's like, are you guys going to rip the band?
So Microsoft is backtracking once again. Jesus Christ, bro. They really can't pick something and stick to it.
Or not. Like my brain immediately starts to theorize, is this because Xbox doesn't want to commit to this strategy yet? Is this because they saw something with Indiana Jones where they're like, hey, there's value to having our game exclusively on our platform first and then coming to PlayStation? Are they doing what PlayStation effectively did with PC titles? Like, hey, we're going to bring it to our core console first and then we'll do PC a little bit later and that audience will eat it up. Is that the play for Xbox? Because some games are day and date. And I thought if you put a gun to my head and went like, yo, Matty, is Forza Horizon 6 going to be day and date on PlayStation? But like, yeah, absolutely. This thing's going to print money. We know how much.
It could be. It's just they haven't updated the listing yet. So we'll see.
Xbox and Microsoft love money right now. I mean, they always have, but you get my point. It's very apparent now. So I was a little bit surprised by that one.
Assassin's Creed Shadows was successful. How many copies did it sell? Because Assassin's Creed Shadows, if it was actually a true Japanese Assassin's Creed, should have easily sold 10 to 15 million units. Minimum. It should have outsold Valhalla. Which it definitely didn't do that.
But nonetheless, I imagine this will be like an Indiana Jones moment where we're going to probably get like, you know, the reveal of the PS5 version sometime before the Xbox version comes out. That would be my guess. I just don't see this being like a secretive thing that they hold on to for a while. But the more interesting broad conversation beyond that in 2026 is how things are shaping up for Xbox in their 25th anniversary. You're getting Forza Horizon 6, but Playground's not done there. We have a pretty strong feeling that Fable will finally be coming out next year. It got delayed out of this year, which was extremely...
Dude, I genuinely could not give a fuck about Fable. This shit looks terrible. Every time they show it, it looks worse. I have zero interest in this. Yeah, Tipple.
Disappointing, to be honest with you. However, with that, we saw Obsidian fill in the summer showcase slot with a double feature direct. And in that direct, we got the Outer Worlds 2, but we also took a look at Grounded. And that started to open up the idea of like, well, is next summer going to be Fable and Forza Horizon 6? And that feels pretty teed up. I mean, these are two massive games that could absolutely earn their own showcase. We know Forza, while its player count is huge and its sales are crazy, hardcore gamers will complain about that a bit, but if you balance that out with some Fable, suddenly Forza in a showcase like that doesn't sound too bad. But it really does set up what I think is a very interesting 25th anniversary for Xbox when you include this, alongside what seems to be the next Halo game. And on top of that, you can throw in their Gears of War, and who knows what else. But it should be a big year for Xbox, and it could be even bigger if they include back compat. Remember the 20th anniversary of Xbox, where they added a bunch of new backwards compatible titles? Well, I've had a prediction for a while that I feel some way, somehow, they're going to bring back a lot of these licensed games from Activision. Activision has published everything from Marvel games to Transformers.
Nope, because they just pulled down the Steam listing for the old Transformer games again, which means they're not probably coming out.
Games to Ninja Turtle games, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra. Like, they have so many licensed games. They had a death grip on so many, especially someone who Golden Retro Rebound, the amount of Spider-Man games we covered, they all have the Activision logo on the cover. Activision has so many Marvel games underneath their banner, including the GOAT, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And in this conversation, really beginning in 2023, a lot of us are wondering when the acquisition was finalized between ABK and Xbox, this copium level dream was, can Xbox bring back backwards compatibility one final time, now they own the company that published these games, and try to get some license deals done to put these games back on the market, to make them accessible once more, because otherwise, as someone who owns many of these games, they're spenny. And yeah, I'm talking about Transformers. Transformers fans are starving for good video games. A new one just recently got canceled that people thought looked really good and a ton of gameplay for it leaked. Like, I feel bad for Transformers fans, but you might be able to play one of the best Transformers games ever in Fall of Cybertron if we're to go down this rabbit hole rumor mill a little bit. So where it all really began was just this week, where we saw Transformers Fall of Cybertron being relisted on Steam, and then it was once again removed from Steam. And if you look at the changelog and the history, there's been some activity on the front of Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. In fact, Transformers games were relisted on Steam and Xbox in June of last year. This actually fueled some rumors that people thought, oh, last year was going to be the year that they would announce backwards compatible titles to arrive on Xbox once more under all these licensed games that have been off the market for a while. Rolling back the clock a little bit more, in 2023, Hasbro, who obviously has the Transformers license, was talking about the Transformers video games. And they claimed in a conversation that Activision had lost the code for the Transformers games on a hard drive in its offices somewhere, and therefore these games would never come back. But then Stephen Totillo spoke with Hasbro, and they said, to clarify, comments that suggest Transformers games have been lost were made in error. We apologize to Activision and regret any confusion. So they're still there. There had to be a conversation, a realization like, we can bring those back, because that's what sparked the whole conversation. Will you bring these games back? And they're like, no, we can't. We would, but we can't. Well, now you might be able to. In this same vein, just 2 years ago, TMNT Out of the Shadows was also relisted on Steam. I can say, I bought this game. I happily bought this game when it came out, even though it was broken, because I will defend this game. I'll always say it's the closest we ever got to a TMNT Arkham-style game. And yeah, I'm talking like 4 out of 10 Arkham-style game, but you know what? There's a lot of potential in this game, and I'd love to have it available on modern platforms again. I'll also add in there that when I purchased this and they took it off the market, Steam removed this game from my library as well and sent me an email. They're like, no, sorry, you can't have this. Anyway, this is another Activision-published licensed game that suddenly came back on Steam. So you're starting to see a trend here, right? TMNT comes back, Transformers comes back multiple times. I don't believe too much in the whoopsies, I flipped this.
Or somebody just accidentally hit Activision. So this is the other thing, too, is like I'm sure there's some sort of way to manage like a publisher's games on Activision, and somebody probably just accidentally published the page again.
Which, once, maybe, okay, I guess. I don't know how it happens, but okay. Twice? Yeah, I'm not really buying it. 3 times? And it's twice with the same...
Sorry, sir. I will remove it from Steam immediately.
Yeah, that's more likely. Some outsourced employee that Microsoft uses accidentally reactivated the Steam listing.
IP? Something's happening. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know when it's happening. I don't know if it'll ever come out, but they're trying something. I don't know if they're gearing up for something.
Hello, bloody.
Why can't they look normal in these games? If you aren't doing fantasy, at least make them look human. I don't know, man.
My prediction, again, looking at the 20th anniversary of Xbox, is like, maybe sometime next year, they're like, hey, these games are back. Is this a new sort of back compat launch that they figure out where, because a lot of games that they couldn't get in the back compat program were down to a few reasons. 1, the code was lost. 2, some of the developers who made these games or publishers that put these games on the market were out of business now. Or 3, license deals. Given Activision is in business, and these other businesses that handed out the licenses are in business as well, i.e. Marvel, Disney, Hasbro, I feel it could be worth the headache to figure this out. Now, my prediction has long been that they're getting the licenses ready to go, not to relist these games at their launch prices all those years ago, but like, they're going to sell you these games again, remastered. Why wouldn't they? I feel like Microsoft's in there, we want to make a lot of money phase, and that's a really easy way to have just recurrent content year after year. Selling Marvel Ultimate Alliance again, I'm not like vouching for this, saying I want this, but if they're going to be the business they've been as of recently, this would not stun me at all. So yeah, maybe they're teeing something up for the 25th anniversary of Xbox, celebrating some form of backwards compatibility and bringing some games back. That's a copium dream even, no doubt about it. But man, it would be cool. There's a lot of games that Activision published that were a big part of my childhood, and And I'd love for Xbox and Microsoft to reach even deeper into that catalog and start pulling out like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man games, putting those in like a trilogy collection on modern platforms. I'd lose my shit, dude. So yeah, we'll see what happens here, but I do think something has to be happening with Transformers soon, since it looks like both sides are game and there's a lot happening on the back end. This last one's just an interesting little tidbit and kind of a carryover from our conversation about Xbox's hardware price bump. This comes from GamesIndustry.biz. They write, Costco stopped selling Xbox consoles in the UK and US. A UK Costco store told GamesIndustry.biz, we actually don't have the Xbox anymore. Now, GamesIndustry.biz breaks it all down, saying this was originally reported by the Gamer, where Reset Era user Kubev noticed that Costco's online store is no longer carrying Xbox hardware in the US. GamesIndustry.biz confirmed this, and if you look at the Wayback Machine, Costco had an Xbox category in May of 2025. The same showed up for the UK. Since then, the UK store for Costco has confirmed this, and then Destin Legary called.
Isn't it sad that in May they had it and then they got rid of it, and then it took people, what, almost 5 months to figure out that it was missing? That's actually even more brutal than them delisting the fucking consoles from the website, is that it took 5 months for someone to realize that they were gone. That's even more, bro. That's even worse. That, unironically, is even fucking worse than them actually removing them from the website, is the fact that it took 5 months for someone to actually bother to look. 7 Minute Man with the 2. I managed to get a Deadpool key on Amazon for $40. Nice, man. Yeah, I think the Deadpool copy for PS4 is like $100 or something, so it's a very pricey game.
Costco and said that I was told that they will no longer be carrying Xbox consoles. Quote, we don't have any plans going forward to carry an Xbox console, end quote, saying it was a business decision. They did say they have some great deals on Switch and PlayStation, though. Now, look, I'm going to keep it real. I've only bought a video game one time at Costco, and that was Mario Wonder. I think I was out getting pretzels because that's like my favorite snack, and I like buying my pretzels in bulk. Sue me. But in that moment, I was like, hey, I'm trying to make a video for Retro Rebound on this new Mario game, and it happens to be here. Hey, I wonder what buying a game at Costco's like. You buy this, you grab this like big piece of cardboard and you just throw it in your cart. It's like, okay, I'm gonna wheel it up, and someone goes into like a back room and grabs it for you. A little bit ancient, but hey, when I was a kid, like these types of warehouse stores, I remember buying video games from Sam's Club growing up a lot. Like every summer, my mom, my Mimi, and my brother and I would go out on these big like summer shopping trips to kind of stock the house with snacks. It was just a great childhood memory. But while we were there, maybe we pick up a book, maybe we pick up a little video game. Good times, man, really good times. Love those types of memories. But I do know a lot of people buy their stuff from these warehouse stores. I'm not gonna act like Costco's the first place I go to for my hardware, but it does indicate one thing, right? Which is like the price changes happen.
No, what it indicates is the normie audience is not gonna buy it. Because how many moms and shit go shopping at Costco? Like, almost every single fucking mother goes to Costco. Well, when Christmas time comes around and, you know, they're doing their specials on the PlayStation, the Switch, where you can get the console, a game, maybe a subscription for under the retail price, you know, they're going there to find Christmas gifts. And all of a sudden, your product's not on the shelf. So there's a huge segment of the market that, even though like gamers may not shop at Costco for that type of shit, fucking soccer moms and Karens 100% do. It's like Walmart. Most people don't go to Walmart to buy a new game, but all the fucking moms and shit do. So it's basically just another avenue for the casual audience to get into gaming, and Xbox ain't there anymore. So, yeah, the Costco near me only has Indians.
Stores are finding it less valuable to stock Xboxes, or Xbox is not finding it valuable to put stock in these stores. Like I mentioned in our last Xbox video, a lot of it just screams defeat. Like, all right, punt it to the next generation. That was less than ideal. Let's see if we can figure something out here. None of this really surprises me, but it just feels it's getting more real. Like, they're done, dude. I just, again, that's why I find at the top of the video, the move to make Forza Horizon 6 like your biggest game of the generation, in my opinion, exclusive, even for a temporary amount of time, it's just really weird with how your hardware is trending. Like, don't you want to capitalize on that? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not a good businessman after all. Who knows? But ladies and gentlemen, that's your Xbox news for the day. Cool announcements, interesting speculation, and some bad hardware news. It's really the state of Xbox, I think, in a nutshell. But I leave it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.
Stop thinking like a human being with the ability to understand people. Yeah, just consume. Sorry, Mom. So the other guy does pizza parties, and this guy goes by Mr. Matty. Yep, and he wears his cozy sweater. The new age male. The new age male, bro. Nintendo just fired hundreds of workers? I don't think that's necessarily true. Oh, look. Nintendo CEO steps down and you'll never guess why. Fired? That's not the CEO of Nintendo, you fucking halfwit. Dude, these people, like, honestly, they're genuinely retarded. Like, does this dumb fuck actually think the head of Nintendo America is the CEO of Nintendo? Like, Jesus Christ. Third world intelligence at its finest, man. Dear Lord. Nintendo of America is basically just a marketing wing. That's it. They're the marketing wing of Nintendo Japan for the US market. So. Oh, no, I think they... Well, in that case, he definitely is that stupid. But... a lot of them, yes, do clickbait. But there are some real fucking smart boys in the crowd, that's for sure.
Mommy special boy.
But yeah. The CEO of Nintendo is like that Japanese dude whose name I don't fucking know because I don't really care that much. According to Kit and Krista, who worked there, he just wanted to retire for a while. He's 60. Yeah, I don't blame him, man. If I'm 60 years old and I made millions of dollars in my career, you know, at a certain point, especially if you got, like, a wife and kids and grandkids, like, you know, there's more exciting shit to do than talk about Nintendo games. You want to go live your life before you're dead, I guess. Z Herbs and Spices with the 5. People were crying woke of the president of Nintendo of America being a woman. I know woke is shit, but be real, she won't have any effect. Yeah, again, Nintendo of America is just a marketing company, essentially. They don't really do anything other than just, you know, market to the U.S. audience. Nintendo of Japan is the one that makes all the games. You know, they're in charge of the actual real decision making, and they set the course for the company. The regional heads of Nintendo just literally market. That's it. It's like basically a marketing apparatus. So, yeah. It's like people who thought Reggie was actually in charge of Nintendo. It's like, no. He's basically just a paid spokesperson who's supposed to go out there and sell the console to people in the US. But, yeah. Shit's pitiful, man. I strongly recommend Silent Hil F, and then the first thing you see is a fucking ad for shitty fucking headphones. Jesus Christ. Have you no shame? It's just the soulless nature of gaming YouTubers. Who am I talking about? This guy. Shilling for Silent Hil F. Which isn't surprising, because Shillup is a massive lefty. Like all prominent YouTubers. You know, unless you toe the line, then you don't get promoted as much. DSP did a Silent Hil review? Really? Does he even review shit anymore?
Hello.
He did a review. Okay, yeah.
Hello everyone, Phil here. I'm currently around 5 and 6 hours into the new release Silent Hil F. And I'm going to be honest with all of you.
Silent Hil F stinks. Bro, just put in Silent Hil F ... ing sucks. That's a better title. Like this. This was my backup title, which I may still use. I'm not sure. I haven't decided. I like this title. There we go. Like, just do this. There's your title. That's your title. See how easy that is? I don't know. The thing I'm thinking of doing, though, is something like this. I'm thinking that. I'm not sure what I want to title it. That's always the most difficult part, because it's like make or break for your video. Other than the thumbnail, but the thumbnail we've got, so that's good. The thumbnail I'm not worried about. You can't see. Can you see it now, old man? See, that's what I'm thinking about titling my video. We see your YouTube. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to see. Definitely use that title. So this is one of them. This is the other one. This is what DSP should have used. Those are the two I'm between. I don't know which one I want to use. I know, it's tough. Like, I think I may go with this one. Because it'll tag anything Silent Hil. So. And then, like, the thumbnail, yeah, there's also this one, too. And then get rid of that. The only thing I have an issue with this is it's gonna fuck it up in like the SEO. So I think that's too complicated because I also have feminism in the actual title or in the actual thumbnail, so I don't think I need that. So I'm between this, basically, like that, or oh wait, shit, I forgot the. Yeah, it's done. I just have to render it and upload it, which, you know, unless YouTube fucks something up, it should be good. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards this one just because, you know, somebody who's not even looking for a Silent Hil F video might click on it just thinking I'm talking about the entire franchise. So, I don't know. I gotta figure it out. Will it be unscripted? All my reviews are unscripted. I just write down bullet points to make sure I talk about everything I want to. Elijah Petty with the 2. So are you looking forward to playing Ghost of Yote? No, I'm not. I don't think I'm going to. I mean, I should just because of the content, but I really don't want to.
I can't afford this shit!
Cause like, hold on, this is the thumbnail. Let's see. This is the thumbnail. So I don't really think I need to put feminism in the title because we already know, like, it's already there. Like, that's what people are gonna see first. So I can just put like Silent Hil F is pure propaganda, or I don't want to put woke in the title because I feel like YouTube like throttles those videos. I would just put, you know, Silent Hil F is woke propaganda, but I feel like YouTube, you know, punishes those type of videos, especially now. So I would just put like pure propaganda, or disgusting propaganda, or complete propaganda, or total propaganda. I don't know. That or the effing sucks. But yeah, that's the thumbnail, so I think I'm leaning more towards just Silent Hil F is pure propaganda. Here, yeah, I'll do a poll, but I'm not sticking to that. I'll probably, I don't know. I'm gonna have to mess with it. Just imagine the review is in parentheses for all of them. I'm running out of characters. Alright, those are the three I can think of.
When I was getting the news that this game was coming out, I got hyped. Why? Because we haven't had a new Silent Hill game since Silent Hill Downpour back in 2012. 13 years is a long time to wait for a brand new Silent Hill. In the meantime, I played all of the classics.
Not long enough, if you ask me.
I replayed some of them. I recently played Silent Hill 2 Remake last year. Absolutely amazing game. My pick for Game of the Year. And so, when Silent Hill F was being promoted and advertised, and I said, you know, I'm going to give it a fair shot. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt that it's going to be in Japan. These devs hopefully know what they're doing, and this game will be great. And then after that, I basically stopped following along. Why? I didn't really want to be spoiled. I wanted to just be pleasantly surprised when I played the game. I had it in my schedule. I even bought the digital deluxe version of the game to play it earlier on in the week so that we could get a head start and actually get a good chunk into the game before other releases hit later on. And
dude, isn't this sad? He bought this game early, and he only played 6 hours of it by the time the game actually released. That is DSP's problem. Like, bro, you paid for early access of a game that's 9 hours long, and you didn't beat it in the first 2 days. What the fuck?
All along, I kept hearing good things about Silent Hill F. The reviewers seemed to say, oh my goodness, it's a great modern Silent Hill. It might even be better than some of the classics. And I was like, wow, high praise from games media. And for a survival horror game, too, that's weird. But at the same time, maybe it's a good sign. And so, being 5 to 6 hours into Silent Hill F right now, all right, I'm able to share with you my early opinions about the game. And my opinion is thus. Silent Hill F sucks. I'm serious. It's actually not that good at all. I don't know what game this games media has been playing. Maybe they just don't like classic survival horror, or they don't know what makes a game a good survival horror game. Silent Hill F does not have any of the components of it. Allow me to explain.
It does suck.
A good survival horror game needs 3 elements. One is a good atmosphere and story. Something supernatural, something interesting going on. Maybe it's body horror, maybe it's mutations, zombies, monsters, ghosts. Who cares? As long as it's something that's kind of weird and keeps you gripping and interesting and asking, what's going on? What's going to happen next? The second component is good combat. And when I say good combat, with survival horror, typically there's one constant element. The element of survival. That's why it's called survival horror. So, element of, oh, I don't have enough resources. I need to micromanage my inventory. I need to make sure I don't overuse ammo or resources in combat. I need to make sure I don't pump too many health items out. I need to basically ration everything I do, because you never know what challenge is around the next corner, and you don't know how hard the challenges are going to be. And then the third component is puzzles. Most survival horror games that are successful and good have great puzzles in them, and that's the third interesting element. Find the key that opens this door that leads you to the next challenge. Do a little mini game. Oops, you mess up the mini game. Now you die. Now you got to do it over from the start. Stuff like that, right? All that stuff has always been present in survival horror games. Silent Hill F has all 3 components, and one of them is good. The atmosphere and the story have a horror element. It's interesting. It's gripping. 6 hours in, that's the one part of the game I'm very interested in. However, both the combat and the puzzles stink. Allow me to explain why. The combat is
yeah, see, I don't know why Phil doesn't do more content like this. If he actually just stopped re-uploading his streams, let the stream sit as a VOD, and then made videos like this as his only content on the videos tab with like an actual edited thumbnail and a better title, he would actually probably grow his channel.
Completely transformed and changed from
previous. But instead he spam uploads, which clouds everybody's feed, which makes you unsubscribe. You know, he puts in 0 effort to the thumbnails, and yeah.
Hills, there is no ammo, no guns. All you do is pick up melee weapons and swing away. That's it. Now, there's some other things to it. There's 3 meters, a health meter, a sanity meter, a stamina meter. You can charge up an attack and release it for a supercharge that stuns an enemy, and then you can do a combo to finish. You can charge up a heavy attack and hit an enemy and try to finish them. You could just mash the dodge button, which is probably what most people will do playing this game, and you can either dodge an enemy attack, or if you time it perfectly, the game slows down a little bit, and then you can either escape or you can wail on the enemy. And then there's even a counterattack parry, where you can charge a button that, again, uses the sanity meter, and then you can see when the enemy's going to attack, and interrupt with a counterattack, and now they get stunned, and you can do a combo. Now, I want you to just think about everything I just described. Does any of that sound like Silent Hill, or any survival horror game ever? It sounds like an action game. It almost sounds like an action RPG hybrid game. That's all the combat in Silent Hill.
Souls-like.
Now, herein lies the problem. It's not engaging, it's not fun, it's just either boring or unnecessary. I've been playing 6 hours, and I found that 9 times out of 10, literally just running by and mashing the dodge button on every single enemy is more effective than engaging any enemy. There's almost never a reason to fight an enemy. Even if they get a cheap hit on you, you can easily still run away, and the game gives you tons of items, so you can always be healing or whatever. In fact, I'm constantly having issues having too many items in my inventory, so I basically have to dump items to pick up others, okay? Now, the game acts like an RPG. There's charms you can equip for the combat. Things like have more health, have more stamina. You don't really need any of it, to be frank. And you can even upgrade, again, through an RPG-like system to equip more of these charms and be even more powerful. So here's the deal. I'm playing the game on the default settings. The default settings are story level difficulty for combat, hard difficulty for puzzles. I'll be honest, I think that's too easy. I think that it should have been hard difficulty for both, because when I engage the enemies, it's almost never challenging. I've only died once ever. It's because I wasn't even trying or paying attention. And at this point, I feel like the combat is an afterthought. Now you might say, well, it's your fault because you picked story.
No, I would disagree. The combat is the first thought. They just did a really shit job with it. Like, the combat was the focus of this game, and it's fucking dog shit.
Default setting in the game, and I always play on default. However, my viewers have told me they're playing on hard, and guess what? Here's what hard changes. The enemies hit for more damage, and you take more hits to kill the enemies. That's it.
Yeah, which is why I don't understand why people go, bro, you didn't play the game unless you played it on hard. It's like, bro, it's just trash.
All the enemies are in the same spots? There's not more?
I've been exposed. I didn't die at all. In my first 3 hours I played the game, I didn't die once. So, I just got bored. Like, I was genuinely going to drop the game unless I didn't use the cheats. So, I just was going to stop playing. That shit was boring as fuck. So, I didn't die a single time in combat when I actually played the game.
Everything else is identical. The only difference is what I just described. Also, there's one other difference. When you go to a save spot, you restore all of your meters, I guess, on the story difficulty. When you're on the harder difficulty, you do not restore your sanity meter. But all that means is you can't do the special charge attack and you can't do the counter attack. But you can still dodge, you can still mash, you can still run. There's been entire enemy rooms I skipped. The only time you're actually committed to fighting an enemy is actually if it's blocking a door or if you're fighting a boss. Everything else is skippable. The combat is insanely boring, repetitive, not memorable, and a waste of your time. They could have done anything else. They could have emulated any other survival horror game, and it would have been better than the combat that they put into this game. Now, here's the other problem. The puzzles.
Oh, I don't count the chase sequences as a death. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about combat. The chase sequence shit, yeah, when the screen glitched out and then I died, that's not my fault.
I'm playing the puzzles on hard difficulty. And some of the puzzles, admittedly, were a little tricky. But today, the straw broke the camel's back, and we're only 6 hours in. Today, the game gave me 2 puzzles. And I know this might be minor spoiler alert, but I need to explain to you these 2 puzzles and why they're so bad for you to understand why the puzzles of this game...
The only puzzle I looked up the solution to was the one where you insert the medallions at the very end of the game with the rats. That's it.
Suck. One puzzle required you to know what the actual blossom, flower, and tree of the Sakura cherry plant looked like.
Oh, that shit was easy, bro. Dude, that was an easy puzzle. Come on, Phil. I didn't even have to think about that.
Now I generally know what it looks like.
That was a piss easy puzzle. I got that my first try other than one of them. Because I picked a bush in addition to the tree.
Art, but I don't live in Japan. I've never seen a Sakura cherry tree in person. I don't know what the tree itself looks like. I know what the blossom looks like maybe open, but I don't know necessarily what a branch would look like, you know. Oh, you just need to know. Because there's a puzzle box, you have to pick 3 of them, and if you pick wrong, the game says you're wrong, but doesn't say which ones you got right or wrong, so it's literally you picking out of a combination of, I think, 12 to 13 different choices, and you have to get the right 3 or you fail. And you don't even know you have to pick 3. So you could literally sit there for 7 hours guessing and never know, until you open up the internet and search Sakura cherry blossom tree, and then your answer's right there. Does that sound like a fun puzzle for a video game? Here's another one, and this will be the last one I spoil, I promise. I'm not kidding you. There's a combination lock on a locker. This is for the story. You need to open this to progress in the story.
Oh, yeah, where you have to spell out SOS.
It says, spell the word bus with numbers. How do you spell the word bus with numbers? Is there a codex? Is there a Da Vinci Code, right, thing that you decode it with and you know that the numbers correspond to letters? No. What numbers look like the letters B, U, and S? What? What kind of puzzle is that? By the way, name one number that looks like the letter U.
None.
I'm waiting. Would you like the solution? Spoiler. The number 6.
Yeah, that's really bad.
The puzzles are actually terrible. Now, I just played a Silent Hill game a year ago. That was my game of the year, and it had great puzzles. What was the problem with Konami when they made this game? They didn't consult anyone who knew how to make puzzles? Gee, maybe...
Well, Konami didn't make the game. Some Chinese studio did.
Maybe the puzzle should be specific to the game, or something to do with the game, or even just something you can figure out if you're smart, or you're, Now, you need to know what the Sakura cherry blossom tree looks like. Go research it online. You need to guess what letter we think corresponds to a number, even though it looks nothing like it, just because we're stupid and this is our puzzle. Get the hell out of here. Are you insane? So, the puzzles suck. The combat sucks.
No, so SOS was 505, which that makes sense. Or AOE was 401. I'm trying to think the other one too, but some of them made sense. Like they weren't too hard to figure out. But yeah, I agree. 86, I think it was 5. Yeah, 865 for bus is kind of wild.
It sucks. What is good is the story. It's gripping, it's interesting, and that's why I want to keep playing it. But guys, 6 hours in, it's rough. My audience can't even stand it. My audience is bored to tears because, again, most of it's wandering around, avoiding or fighting these boring, repetitive enemies or doing these annoying puzzles. The story is decent, but there's not enough of it. I even said to my audience, this game would have been better if they took this element out of it. Take the controller, put it down, just make this a movie or a TV series, and it's great. I would watch.
That's what I said. The gameplay is the worst part.
Watch this as a TV show, a Japanese TV show with these teens interacting, trying to survive, and all the supernatural stuff going on. Instead,
But that's what every video game is now. It's more movie than game. The devs don't want to make games anymore. They want to make movies, and the gameplay is the worst part of this game.
Gotta kill 1 million enemies by mashing like an idiot, or I just gotta run by them like an idiot.
I absolutely agree with Phil. 100%. This would be better if you didn't have to play it.
And then I gotta solve awful puzzles that aren't fun, and you gotta look up the solutions because the game devs were morons and didn't put anything in there that, you know, takes intelligence. It's just, you have to just know. So, yeah, it's bad. I'm shocked. I thought this game was gonna be one of my Game of the Year contenders. It's actually pretty bad. I would hope that my opinion will change, but I don't know. Unless they completely redesign the game halfway through, I don't see how it's gonna be any better. I just see it being more of the same. And again, I am gonna play through because I want to see the story, but for me, that's it. So, Silent Hil F, huge disappointment. It actually legit sucks. I don't know what game these people are playing and what they're smoking. It's nowhere near as good as Silent Hill 2 Remake last year. It's not even as good as the other survival horror game out right now, Chronos. Guess who made Chronos? Bloober Team. Guess what game Bloober Team made? Silent Hill 2 Remake. Go play Chronos if you want classic survival horror with huge challenge and a good story. Silent Hill F ain't it. That's all I got to say, folks. I hope that made sense and that you enjoyed it.
I disagree with that because Silent Hill 2 Remake is bad for its own reasons. Not as bad as F, I feel like. But I didn't technically finish it, but you get the point. I didn't ever finish Silent Hill 2 Remake. I got bored to death with that shit. I got to the prison and it was like, holy fuck, man. Does this ever end? Like, ooh, I get to beat the same enemies with a pipe 800 fucking times. Wow. How fun. I don't know. My depression storyline of Silent Hill 2 doesn't really do anything for me.
See you soon.
F is terrible. Yep. I agree. Click on the Melanie short, please. There isn't one. Sorry, PK. No can do. Remember being scared in the OG Silent Hill 2, but I think at the time it was just because I was following the first game. The remake falls flat. I just don't... Dude, I don't find survival horror games scary. Like, there's nothing scary to me about a video game. It's just more so irritating. It's like... It's just... They add in all this unnecessary jank and annoyance to build tension. And it's like, it just pisses me off, to be completely honest. Like, it genuinely just pisses me off. I don't find any enjoyment out of it. It's like, I don't feel scared. Like, yeah, I can appreciate the atmosphere, but it's like, that soon fades pretty quick. when I have to actually like do a bunch of slop that pisses me off. Which Silent Hill game had the wife's body in the trunk? I have no idea. Yeah, it gives you purposely shitty controls and obnoxious gameplay mechanics and says, oh, there's your horror, dude. Yeah, the horror of having to finish the fucking game. That's the real scary part, is how it passed quality assurance. I mean, I almost feel like they should just make horror games straight up walking sims with, like, QTEs. Like, I'm at that point where it's like, bro, are you really gaining anything from playing this at this point? Like, really, dodging 80 times to fucking clear a room of enemies is your definition of fun. Yeah, exactly. The choose your own adventure book kind of format would be way more fun, I feel like. Exactly. I agree. I'd rather just play like a literal fucking movie game than actually play through a game like Resident Evil. So, call that a controversial take, but I don't really care. Yeah, it's the same experience. Like, if the gameplay is bad, you're not missing anything by just watching it on YouTube. That's the thing. If it's a bad game to play, you're better off just watching it on YouTube. Like, at least with the choose your own adventure type game, there's a reason to play it yourself versus just watching the video on YouTube. Like, in a linear horror game like Silent Hill, where your decisions make no difference, you get the same experience, like, just watching it. Whereas, like, something like Until Dawn, you get to actually affect the outcome of the story. So I almost feel like it's better because it's like you still have a reason to play Until Dawn, even if you've watched it on YouTube, because maybe you want to make a different decision. Because there's no playthrough on YouTube that's going to have a 100% sync to your decision making that you would have done during the time that you played it. So there's still actually incentive to go out and do it yourself. Whereas you can watch the gameplay playthrough of like a Resident Evil game and get the entire story, and if you don't like the gameplay of Resident Evil, you didn't miss out on anything. You literally got the full experience, and there's no reason for you to ever go out and buy and play the game. So that's what I mean, man. Gameplay, yeah, gameplay is king. Unless the game is fun to play, there's really no incentive to actually play it anymore. Let's see. Kendrick with a 2. Would you recommend still buying a Pro? I mean, if it's your only gaming platform, then yeah. If PlayStation is your primary gaming platform, then yeah, I'd say it's probably worth buying. But if you have a PC and you have, you know, a PlayStation 5, I would say probably not. The only reason I would say it's worth getting a Pro is if PlayStation is your primary gaming platform. That would be the qualifier I would use for that. If you primarily play everything on PlayStation, then it's worth getting a PS5 Pro. Otherwise, nah. You're probably fine with a base model. It is your primary? Yeah, then I would say it's worth it. I play weird zero current thing fan-made expansion to a D-mice. I don't even know what the fuck that is. And then watch Griffin complain about video games. What is a DM-mice board game? I don't know what that is. I love an Until Dawn merged with a Blueprints horror game where it randomizes stuff every time you play and you're challenged to figure out how to survive. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Dungeon Masterless. Oh, I have no idea what that is. Yeah, I'm out of my realm on board games. I don't really do any of that. Of course, Troon Hunter loves it. He's shocked.
Well, folks, good news, handheld gamers, and specifically those of you gamers that have been hyped up and excited for the new Asus Xbox ROG Ally X, because pre-orders have officially went live on Best Buy, and the price. Let's talk about the price, because that is not the price
Irvine.
I was expecting. I was expecting this thing to go for about $899, and even then, I thought that was a little bit high, right? No, it's going for $999, $1,000. And Asus and Xbox seem to say these competitive prices make both handhelds an easy choice compared to competitors. An easy choice. Competitive prices. Did I die? Did I move on to another life? No. But there you go. So the price for the lower end model, we're not even going to really talk about that in this video. The original or the basic Xbox Ally for $599. Don't get it. It's the only redeeming thing this thing has is the colored buttons, the original Xbox buttons. If you're going to get an ROG Ally X, get the $999 Z2 Extreme one. But like I said, for $1,000 even, guys, for a couple of $100 more, you can get yourself the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Now, we obviously did a video. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go watch it. We actually did a showdown comparing the winner between the Legion Go 2 and the Xbox Ally, and we decided on a winner between their specs, design, display, battery, features, and price. I highly recommend you go watch that video. I'll try to put a link down below in the video description where we walk through each of these categories and explain why I think, you know, one of them is a winner. And let's just say the one on the left seems to win a lot of the categories. And again, personal opinion, I think the Xbox ROG Ally is a nice piece of kit. I've had an Asus ROG Ally before. I loved it when I had it. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I did have to return the first one. Asus are notoriously bad for quality control issues. I will say that. I remember when I had a G14 laptop years ago, I had to return it like 5 times to get one that didn't have issues. We had to return our first Asus ROG Ally, I think once, because it had issues as well with, I can't remember, was one of the buttons.
Yeah, that doesn't really... Yeah, the thing is, I've heard people have said Asus has a lot of problems. Now, I love my Asus monitor. So that's really all I've ever owned from them.
Sticking, or was one of the sticks not working, or weren't clicking properly, or was sort of stuck, or was grinding?
Yeah, I mean, just wait until the Steam sale in Christmas time, and then buy the Steam Deck OLED for whatever 20 to 30% discount they put it on. Just get that instead.
No, there was issues with ROG Ally, and they've had, as far as I know, a lot of quality control issues that has persisted. So I'd be very hesitant about buying one of the first ones from the production line from Asus. Let's just see that. Again, just personal experience, okay? But I've had an Asus ROG Ally, we have a Lenovo Legion Go, and one piece of criticism I have for this is the display. I think the display for a $1,000 device is just not cutting it for me. I think it's a portrait display. It's basically a tablet display in here. It's 16 by 9, so it's kind of a weird aspect ratio. You're getting thick black bars at the top and bottom. It's 1080p, obviously. It's not an OLED. It's not got Hall effect sticks that I know. It does have some good rumble mode.
Yeah, the fact it doesn't have an OLED is really bad. Like, come on, bro. $1,000, and they couldn't put an OLED display. That's an extra $10 to $20 on the production side.
They've basically, made this a lot like an Xbox controller, which I think is great. It's only got one USB-C 4, unlike the two the Lenovo has. It does not have detachable controllers. It doesn't have a kickstand. It does have a larger battery. I like that about it. And it has impulse triggers, which is pretty cool. It does have less RAM, though. It has the same Z2 Extreme processor. But yeah, like I said in my previous video talking about the Lenovo Legion Go 2, the Xbox ROG Ally X and the Lenovo Legion Go 2 are the two big mainstream handheld consoles of 2025. And if you're looking to get a gaming console, a handheld gaming PC, then these two are probably going to be the two ones you're going to be looking at. Demand has been through the roof for both of these guys. And like I said, the pre-order is now live for the Asus ROG Ally. So if you want to go snap one up, I'll put my link down below in the video description. Go check it out. Go pre-order one if you want one. Like I said, if I had to pick one of the two, I'd save an extra couple $100 and get the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Just personal opinion. You're free to disagree. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But either way, listen. Even if you do get one of these, even if you do get an Xbox ROG Ally, if you can disagree with my points that I made in previous videos, it's still a nice looking piece of kit, all right? It might not have everything, but it's going to be $350 cheaper, one. It's going to have a more ergonomic design, two. I still love Asus. They make really good hardware if you don't have any quality control issues with yours initially. But again, if you buy from Best Buy, you can just return it, swap it out for a brand new one. So there is that. You're kind of protected in that way. And it's obviously got Xbox support, first-party Xbox support, which I think is really good. Just to remind people, because some people don't realize this, and I just want to express and stress this fact, is that this Xbox ROG Ally X is not an Xbox. It cannot play Xbox games, okay? Console games. We talked about Halo from 2020, or was it 2021? One of the older Halos. Was it Halo 4? I can't remember.
Halo 5.
The newer Halo games, and a bunch of certain console games that haven't came to PC yet. It cannot play Xbox games. They're saying it's an Xbox in the fact that it can play the Xbox Anywhere games. Yes, it can cloud stream Xbox. It can cloud stream via the Xbox Game Cloud xCloud service. It can do that, but it cannot play Xbox games. And there's a lot of people I noticed in my previous videos comments that were like, "Oh, I didn't realize this wasn't a real Xbox in the fact it can't play Xbox console games." Well, I've cancelled my pre-order. I don't want anyone to cancel pre-orders.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are gonna fall for that. 100%.
I want them to be very clear that if you have,
I guarantee, dude, there's gonna be probably at least 10 to 20,000 people that go out buying this thing thinking, "Oh, I can play my Xbox games," and then they can't. It's going to happen. There's going to be a large number of people that fall into that.
You have an Xbox Series S library. You're not going to be able to play all your Xbox Series S games on this thing. Just make sure that you know that, all right? This is a gaming PC, basically first and foremost.
The only reason I would have bought this thing is if I could have played 360 games on it. Otherwise, I have zero interest.
Most with an Xbox UI, it's still essentially it's a gaming PC with Windows at its core, so don't expect console level functionality on this thing. But yeah, it is available to pre-order. Let me know if you're picking one up down below in the comment section. Check my links down below. I'll put a link to where you can pre-order this or the Lenovo Legion Go 2 and go watch my video, the showdown between the two. Anyways, let me know what you think. I'm Blaze with K. If you love handheld gaming, please take the time, if you have the time, only if you have the time, and if you want to like, subscribe, click the bell icon. We cover handheld gaming, gaming tech, all that stuff on the channel every day.
I can't afford to be a gamer anymore. Uh-oh.
Gaming has become a hobby you need to take out another mortgage for just to enjoy. The prices of casual machines some people like to call gaming consoles
Was the joke to that supposed to be he wasn't wearing pants?
have in fact gone up again. If you want to buy 3 games at release, which means you pay full price, that will cost you around £200.
3 games!
And the odds of those games being good is about 1 in 3. So £200, well spent. Why do games cost this much? Is it because
Oh my, I'm already exhausted, man. I've already been drained.
Because the games are better? No, they're worse. Is it because companies are blowing away more money than they have to make a worse game? Yes. Yes, it is. Gaming is a hobby I feel like people are being priced out of. Because even me, a gamer who has a YouTube channel dedicated to talking about games, yes, even I feel like I won't be able to afford to keep up. Hell, I'm already at that point. And if I'm at that point, the death of the casual gamer may be upon us. Let's talk about it. So as that period of the gaming calendar loomed ever closer this year, and games started dropping faster than game developers could celebrate assassinations on social media, I've had to make choices. Choices that tear me apart. Choices that rival even Sophie.
This style of over-editing is just all so tiresome.
That was a good one, yeah? I will never be the same after this. I'm distraught, actually. There is a massive list of games this year I want to play, and I was going to play them. Every single one. It was going to be beautiful. And then, just play the clip. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play that. Oh, that's expensive. Is that number upside down? Is it a joke? No, I'm good. Yes, tragically, instead of buying every single game I want, I'll have to pick and choose very carefully which ones I'll play this year. Which takes a lot of planning, pros and cons lists, and a lot of internal fighting, and a lot of tears. It's been a rough year. I've moved house, I have various responsibilities.
I can't, bro. I'm done. Nope. Filtered. I'm already filtered. Yeah, no. I can't do it. Holy zoomer editing. It just makes me angry. It makes me angry. The switch on the table, yeah. I'm so sick of grown men acting like it's some sort of like life decision to buy a fucking video game. Like, come on, dude. I'm sick of this poverty LARP. Like, I don't relate. Even as a child, I never had problems affording games and stuff. Like, yeah, I couldn't buy everything I wanted, but if I wanted to buy a game, I could find a way to do it. But also because I actually worked as a kid, so I made money. So I used to mow lawns and, you know, dog sit and all that type of shit, and then resell on the side. So I always had money as a kid because I used to, like, you know, actually work on the weekends and stuff. Haven't bought a new game since Donkey Kong. Unfortunately, I've bought new games. I bought, yeah, obviously Slop Hills F and Borderlands. I didn't buy this, it was free because I bought the deluxe edition of Dying Light 2 way back when. Oh, I guess I bought Lost Soul Aside, too. Yeah, that was disappointing. I was hoping that was actually going to be good, but no such luck. It had potential, but it's just more China slop. Yo, how much you guys want to bet that this short right here is literally, oh, dude, he finished his food before she even took a bite. This is so funny. Yeah, dude, it's just like so retarded. I swear to God, just literally euthanize every single person that unironically found that funny. Euthanize every single person that actually thought that shit was funny. They're a waste of oxygen. Oh my God. How the fuck? It never amazes me just how bad the normies are when it comes to humor. Griffin getting Battlefield. Yeah, I'm going to buy Battlefield 6. I'm getting that. That was good. I thoroughly enjoyed the beta for Battlefield 6. Dude, that's a crazy camera angle. That's a crazy camera angle. Yeah, I never played Kirby Air Riders on the GameCube, so I'll give it a shot. Me too. I'm tired of hard games as well. Only for the rich?
A new article popped up on my feed recently entitled, I can't afford to play video games the way I want to. I won't go over the whole article here, as I'm sure you can probably guess the gist of it.
Yeah, I can't either. I just want to sit at home all day, live in an 8,000 square foot home with a 100-inch TV and just play video games all day while society pays for my existence. Woe is me.
Game prices have increased, I can't afford them, and I'm worried about the future. Now, game prices have seen their highest increase since the 8th generation console release over a decade ago. Up until that point, games had slowly seen a markup in price with each new generation leap. PlayStation 2 games were $40, PlayStation 3 $50, and PlayStation 4 $60, for AAA games at least. And then it kind of stagnated until recently.
Wait, what?
PlayStation 2 games were $40, PlayStation 3 $50, and PlayStation 4
PlayStation 3 games were not $50, and PlayStation 2 games were not $40. PlayStation 2 games were $50, and PS3 games were $60. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Again, it's this revisionist history shit.
for $60, for AAA games at least. And then it kind of stagnated until recently, when Nintendo have announced that their prices are going up. $80 for a digital game and $90 for a physical version. An increase
they
of
stagnated? No, they went up $70 to $70 this generation. What the fuck? Yeah, Nintendo's the only one who raised prices over 60. It's just insane.
That is quite a financial leap, and as the article summarizes,
what world are these people living in?
People are upset and are unable to afford the new titles. But on the other hand, there's this article from Forbes stating that we're actually underpaying for games. The games cost more to make now than before, and inflation simply hasn't matched their true value. So what is the truth? Is $90 too much?
And that's not even counting if you want the real game. You have to spend like $130 for the deluxe ultimate, blacked edition.
Or is it too little? I know I'm quite late to the party here, and I know thousands of people have covered this topic, but I wanted to discuss it at length and give some explanation as to why the prices have increased, whether they are justified, the ramifications of this, and offer what I consider to be the only viable solution. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, and if you do enjoy gaming discussions, please consider subscribing. Okay, so the first thing I want to figure out, is the price right? Is $90 a fair game price in today's economy when you adjust for inflation? Well, let's hear from the side that are defending this, the Forbes article by Eric Kane. Video games should be more expensive. There are a lot of shady practices that go on in the video game industry, from graphics downgrades to day one DLC, but a lot of the practices that bother consumers the most, from DLC to pre-order bonuses to microtransactions in full-price games, are a result of one unpleasant truth. Video games really ought to cost more thanks to inflation than they do today. The article states that Nintendo cartridges used to cost $70 back in '98, which would be the equivalent of $100 today when you adjust.
No, way more than that. Way more than $100 today. Here, let's see. Come on, bitch. Give me it. So, 98, let's see. $70.98 is worth $140 now. That just shows you, bro, the value of our currency has decreased so much. It's just disgusting.
Just for inflation. Video games, on the other hand, have seen skyrocketing development costs, with much larger teams required to create a AAA product than in the past. Besides the larger teams, voice acting and scoring and other additional costs have been added. He also states that competition has led to increases in marketing costs. The fact is, games are actually cheaper than they were before, yet cost more to make.
You don't hate the Federal Reserve enough.
Games are underpriced at $60 and should really be $100 when adjusted for inflation. Okay, let's dissect this. First of all, one thing not calculated here is that the cost of distribution has gone down over the years. Discs are cheaper to create than cartridges. Digital downloads, even cheaper, if any cost at all, so that needs to be considered. We also need to consider that the gaming market has grown, with millions of gamers worldwide. Back in 1990, 33% of homes had a console. Today, that number is almost double. So more customers means more potential sales. So this means that the revenues are higher than they were before, or at least potentially. Now, just discussing the inflation aspect, since this appears to be the main argument made. Wages have risen, yes, but the cost of living has skyrocketed even faster. In the UK, the average house price jumped from £53,000 in 1990 to £282,000 today, quadrupling, whilst wages only doubled from $15,000 to $30,000. Electricity, about 5 times more expensive now than it was.
Well, stop importing Indians and Muslims and you won't have a problem, but, it's all by design.
Back then. This model applies across most common things like water bills, grocery costs, car bills, etc. The cost of living has grown far quicker than the wages have risen. Now, add to this, internet bills didn't exist in 1990. Neither did cell phone payments or data plans. Everything nowadays is subscription-based. Disney Plus, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, Ring doorbell, etc. So not only do we have more monthly outgoings now than we did before, but the ones that we had before have quadrupled in cost. So the bottom line is, yes, inflation has gone up, but wages are growing much slower than the costs are. That's the reason why we're currently in a cost of living crisis.
Because of unlimited immigration.
Our costs are more than our income. The point is, people are struggling at the moment, with 65% of Americans currently living paycheck to paycheck, just surviving. So yes, we make more now than we did before on paper, but we get a lot less for it and have a lot less spare money lying around. And now, here's the main issue.
I disagree with that. People have more spare money laying around if they didn't waste it. The problem is there's more avenues of wasting your money now than there was in the past. Like, think about what your grandparents used to do for fun. They would maybe go out to eat once a week. Maybe they would travel once a year. And they literally wore the same clothes, had one car, didn't have cell phone, internet bills. Maybe they had a cable bill, but probably not. They weren't buying a bunch of Chinese shit off of Temu. They weren't, shopping on Amazon all the fucking time. They didn't have Netflix, Spotify, Hulu, Disney Plus. All this shit. They didn't spend, $60 on a game and then spend another $300 on skins. They didn't have OnlyFans. All this stuff. Uber Eats wasn't a thing. So if you really look at how people spend their money today, a lot of the problem is people just buy a bunch of shit that they really do not need. And that's where all their expendable income goes, is towards a bunch of consumer slop that didn't exist in the past. So that is a big problem that people don't want to be honest about. Now, granted, wage growth has not kept up with inflation. Immigration has absolutely decimated the rental market as well as wages in the country. So that is 100% a factor too. But it's both at the same time.
Video games are a luxury good. Something that we buy when we have all our essentials covered. A treat for when we have some extra cash after taking care of our needs. Water, electricity, Starbucks, I'm kidding, groceries. These are essentials. Things that we need. Sports cars, bling watches, and video games. These are luxury goods. We only buy them when we're doing well. It's the last thing that we spend money on. And since we're all currently in a cost of living crisis, that means we will buy less luxury goods and less games if the price goes up.
Wrong. Luxury spending has gone up year over year.
I don't know about most people watching this video, but money is tight for me. Now, I work a full-time job, and I also make 2 YouTube videos a week, and my spouse works full-time also. We are getting by. No kids, no debt, no Starbucks. So I work around 70 hours a week. Now, this
just as Rothschild intended.
kind of work ethic back in 1990 would probably mean that I'm driving a Ferrari and living in a mansion, or at the very least stacking up some cash. But in 2025, this is the norm, this is the requirement. Side hustles are no longer about getting extra money, it's about literally just making enough to survive, because without it, you're going to struggle. Many people nowadays have to work multiple jobs just to get by. So the argument I make is this: things are tough right now, and people have very little money left over after they get their essentials. Increasing gaming prices by 33% just means less people can afford them. Inflation be damned. So whether games are worth $100 today when you calculate for inflation matters very little, if no one can really afford it. Or at the very least, it means people can buy less games than before. Let's say someone saved £120 a month for gaming. With a price of £60, it meant that they could buy 2 new games a month, or more if they shopped around. But if game prices jump to, say, £100, suddenly they can only buy the 1 a month. So as a result, less titles are sold as people have to be more selective with their money. So GTA 6 will be better off, but that new experimental indie title will suffer as people don't have the expendable cash to take the risk on it. It means less wealth spread around to multiple studios, with big names taking the majority of the cash. Now, the other argument that the article made is that DLCs and microtransactions are there to help make up for the low prices. The author is essentially stating that these exploitative sales tactics are out of necessity rather than greed. Come on. The gaming industry on the whole is worth a whopping $250 billion a year.
Yeah, Ubisoft has to throttle my XP gain. You know, that's a requirement for them to stay in business.
5 generated $8.5 billion in sales, and one of the biggest revenue drivers.
It's all these people buying that's part of it too, man. People who are buying shit they can't afford. So, yeah. I mean, if you really took a look at your spending, I think most people would be shocked at how much you actually waste. Like, your money that doesn't go to food, rent, utilities, and, like, necessity items. If you really looked at all of your unnecessary spending, you would probably be in shock with how much money you have left over by the end of the year if you just accumulated it all.
Sneaky microtransactions. Game prices may not have increased as much recently, but revenue certainly has, and so have profits. Microtransactions, loot boxes, and pre-order bonuses are engineered around the fear of missing out, and they use addictive reward loops, making players feel like they'll lose status, content, or opportunities if they don't buy right now. So my argument is, yes, maybe some game prices didn't grow directly with inflation, but gaming companies are certainly making more money than ever. Xbox just had a record year in sales. So the gaming industry as a whole is doing incredibly well, and making plenty of money via these manipulative tactics. Games in 2005 may have cost less, but had no microtransactions. Fortnite is a free-to-play game. Literally, they charge $0 to play that game. It has made $42 billion since its release 7 years ago, and is considered one of the most profitable games of all time. So this completely contradicts the argument that game prices should be higher to make up for loss. So although some may argue that prices can be increased when you adjust for inflation, the point is, it's not necessary. Studios have found other ways of sucking even more.
Not every game can be Fortnite, though.
More money out of customers than ever before. And let's say the price of the game went up to $100. Would that mean they immediately remove microtransactions since they no longer need that money? Absolutely not. By charging more, it's a case of
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I wouldn't care if games were like $100. If they're actually worth the price and they don't nickel and dime you post-launch, then I think that's fine.
AAA studios having their cake and eating it too. If the terms were that they could increase game prices, but they had to remove all microtransactions, I promise the price wouldn't change. AAA studios are making more than enough already, whereas the average consumer nowadays is barely getting by. So the main point is not necessarily that gamers disagree that game prices could increase due to inflation, just that they can't afford them if it happens. Wages have gone up, but life has gotten harder. The price increase does more damage to the consumer than good that it does to a AAA studio. And at the end of the day, you can increase the price to $200 if you want, but if no one can afford it, then the studios don't make any money. So what determines the price? Is it inflation, the cost of production, the brand? Well, in reality, it's us. The customer determines the price. I'm about to see a drop off in my view account now because I'm about to talk about economics. I know, we have to do it though. So what determines the price of a product is the market. Now this is a supply and demand chart. A supply and demand chart is one of the most common ways that economists and businesses explain how prices are set in the market. Gaming studios aim to find the price that maximizes profit. So let's look at a couple of examples. So let's say they charge $1 for a video game. Almost everyone would buy it. So say 10 million copies are sold. Revenue is $10 million. But if development costs are $50 million, then the studio would lose $40 million. Demand is huge, but the price is too low to cover the costs. Let's say they change the price to $200 per game. Well, only superfans could buy it. Maybe they sell 100,000 copies. Revenue is $20 million. The cost is still $50 million. So the studio, once again, takes a loss of $30 million. The price is high, and there are too few sales to make it profitable. And then we find what we call the sweet spot, the equilibrium. Let's say it's $60. About $5 million million copies sell. Revenue hits $300 million, and the cost, once again, is $50 million. So the profit is $250 million. This is the sweet spot. High enough to earn revenue, low enough to keep players buying. So gaming studios are always trying to find this sweet spot, and the ones who determine what the sweet spot is us. Let's use Nintendo Switch 2 as an example. Now, I could make 1,000 videos online complaining about the price. These videos would get millions of views and supporters who are like, yeah, you're right. We could write blogs, we could complain to Nintendo, we could go to news outlets, but all of that doesn't matter. Nintendo don't care. The only thing they care about is our wallets. Did we pay the price? Did the console sell enough units? That's why some YouTubers set an awful example when this console was released. Now, I won't name names, I don't want any trouble, but some of them asked their
beat 'em ups.
fans to boycott the Switch too, and then went and bought it themselves. Now, they went on to complain about how it was a bad investment, but that's not the point. They bought it. The price and market value
That fucking Wood Hawker guy with the fucking long hair who cried on camera.
Determined by the consumer. So if I complain that the price is too high and still buy it, then I've indirectly told Nintendo that the price is just right. That's why they didn't lower the price despite the criticism. The only way the price will ever drop is when not enough people buy the product. So we can complain about the prices before we buy, and we can complain about the prices after we buy. But as long as we buy, it doesn't matter. Check this out. Nintendo Switch 2 has now surpassed 2 million units sold in the US live to date. It is currently 75% ahead of the unit sales pace set by the original Nintendo Switch. So none of that matters. To Nintendo, the price is perfect, as they're selling out. In fact, it might be too low. If only 10% of the consoles sold, they would lower the price. The only way to truly see a change in gaming prices and a constant increase of them is to stop buying. The minute customers do that, then the prices will soon drop afterwards. Borderlands 4 released 3 versions of their game recently. The base game was £70, the deluxe was £90, and the super deluxe was £120. That's in pounds, so it's even more in dollars. It's very expensive. Guess what? They just set a record launch day with 200,000 consecutive players. Is the price too high? Absolutely not. If the majority of customers will pay it, then the price is right. But then again, we might hear these same people complain afterwards that it was too much money and they feel like they've been ripped off. But the damage has already been done. The fact most regret it after, that doesn't matter. Complain about it after all you want. You already paid, and that is where the price is determined, not after. The game will be
Yes and no. Because the long-term sales of a game like Borderlands are definitely, I would say, the lion's share.
Available for a 90% discount in a year's time. Why not wait? Well, because you'd be missing out. Remember, these companies have mastered the
Borderlands is one of those games that just sells crazy well over time. So I don't know if the launch numbers are necessarily their main concern.
Manipulation and the fear of missing out. They know that players will want to get the super deluxe so they can get the special cosmetic add-ons. It's a sad cycle, but it certainly works. Here's an example of it working before release. Paradox is refunding PlayStation pre-orders of Vampire the Masquerade Premium Edition as it rethinks its plan to charge extra for 2 playable clans following community backlash. They wanted to charge a full price for the game and then make players pay extra to actually get the full experience. Fans protested by cancelling orders, and guess what happened? They refunded customers and said they would include all factions in the base game. So in a nutshell, they lowered their price. Customers always get
Yep, he tried to claim that he made up a fake Nintendo Direct when in reality it was just he got fucking fooled. And then instead of admitting that he was wrong, it's like, yeah, dude, I'm a 400 IQ fucking legend where I came up with this, you know, hardcore plot to fool the entire internet, man. He's just such a super genius, guys. Totally didn't just get something wrong.
Their wallets. But this has to happen before, not after. If they'd sold 1 million copies of this game with this...
Here, we can check. Let's see. Borderlands 3 lifetime sales. Borderlands 3 has sold 22 million units, making it 2K's fastest selling title as of May 2025. Let's see. The entire Borderlands series has sold 93 million copies. Borderlands 2 remains the franchise's best-selling title with 30 million units. So, yeah, I mean, it's still sold really well.
Model, and people complained after, but it's far too late at that point. Games are becoming...
Yeah, 22 million's not a small fucking number. That's for sure.
A rich person's hobby. Not because they have to, but because enough people are willing to pay. The fact that almost all AAA games are selling more now than ever showcases that the price is clearly not an issue for some people. For some people, it is an issue, but indie titles like Silksong, Tainted Grail, among others, have offered their titles for far less. This accommodates those who can't afford the new AAA prices. The bottom line, as long as people keep paying, prices will keep climbing. If someone wants to drop £120 on a cosmetic add-on, that's their choice, but it guarantees that studios won't lower costs. Whereas more frugal or casual players, they aren't the target audience anymore. I've seen someone spend $300 on Fallout 76 microtransactions in minutes. As long as whales like that exist, publishers will always cater to them. Game prices are spiraling, but as long as people keep buying, nothing will change. We can complain all day that the Switch 2 is overpriced, but if it sells out, studios see that as proof that the price is right. AAA publishers will keep raising costs until the day enough players finally say, no, I won't buy it. That's when prices will come down. Until then, the real truth is simple. The biggest exploit in gaming isn't microtransactions or DLC, it's us paying for them. But anyway, that's it for this one, but what do you guys think? Do you feel that prices are too high? Do you agree with my assessment? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up.
I don't think prices are too high, personally. I think people just need to make more informed purchasing decisions. Again, you have a game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the GOAT, that I put over 300 hours into that was $70. Zero DLC, no fucking add-ons, no microtransactions, nothing. Just a $70 game at launch that I got hundreds of hours of enjoyment out of. So there are games out there that are still worth full price, but most of them just aren't worth full price. So you should just wait till they go on sale. I think Donkey Kong was worth full price, too. I genuinely enjoyed that game a lot. There's a ton of content in that. Especially if you enjoy collecting all the, like, little bananas and shit. Mario Kart, I also think, was worth the $80, or I paid $50 for it because it came with my Switch, but if you did get it for $80, I don't think you'd be disappointed. I think it's really good. I have, I think, over 100 hours in that now, or close to it. 90-something. But, yeah. I don't know. Gaming is cheaper than ever before, whether people want to admit it or not, but it just doesn't feel like it because everything else is so expensive. Alright, well, I'm probably going to go ahead and hop off. I'll finish up editing this video, and then I got to do some work shit. It's 9 a.m. So I got a meeting soon. But, yeah, keep an eye out for the video, guys, and make sure to smash that like button when it goes live. It does help, believe it or not. And also leave a comment, too. You know, you can just put for the algorithm if you want, but, yeah, the engagement, I think, is what YouTube cares about now, so... Yeah, just keep an eye out for it. You know what the thumbnail looks like. Which, here, I'll pull it up one last time. I should just pull up the file, but too lazy. Just keep an eye out for the thumbnail, man. I guess we'll do Silent Hil effing sucks for the review title. I think that's good. Like, long term, I think it'll be good. Because it'll hit the entire franchise, not just the game. But, yeah. Hype the video? I don't even know how you do that shit, but yeah, sure. If you have access to that feature, feel free. I don't have it on my phone yet, which maybe I have to upgrade my app to the new version or whatever. But yeah, if you have the option to hype it, then feel free. You have the feature? Alright, well, yeah. If you can, then hype the video, I guess. So fucking retarded, man. You can't just upload a video and have people watch it nowadays. Isn't that just such a crazy fucking thing? You know, you can't just upload a YouTube video, the people that sub to your channel see it pop up in their feed, and then they watch it. God forbid. God fucking forbid that YouTube just, you know, is less functional now than it was in 2007. Crazy. But anyway, yeah, make sure to like, hype, and comment on the video, dude. Or else I will give you a second circumcision. And the rabbi will have to suck your penis again. But anyway, I'm going to hop off. Have a great... What is today? It's Friday, right? A great Friday, everybody. And I'll talk to all of y'all later. Peace out, guys.